Hello and welcome back to Dungeons of Chaos. We are doing our achievement run through. Now, if you joined us from the last video we were getting Mine the Pixies and the Slay a dozen Shadow Pixies. Fairly easy, we burned them alive. Ignite is one of the most powerful spells in the game. It is wonderful and we are using it to no end with this playthrough to really burn through things very quickly. Now, next up, as I did mention, we do have a couple of the achievements that are close by. Now, I am just outside of the Dry Hot Cave, and we have a Dragon's Chest and Ice Baby. Now, we're going to do the Ice Baby, and then we're going to go over to the Dragon's Chest, which is on the back side of this mountain range. Opening up the map so you can see where we're at here. Now the shelter is just a little bit to the east here. There's the spider lair. But we're going to follow this river into the mountains. And it should give us an opening right there. Just map out just a little extra. But the hole's right here. And it gives us the icy crevice. Now, nice little thing. See a frozen bear and ice. There's a couple of things frozen, as I'm just clicking and looking at nothing. Now, there is a monster species that is native to this icy crevice that is going to be the frozen zombies, which is exactly that. It's a zombie that's frozen. Now, I'm heading up here. I'm going to show you guys a little bit. If you guys don't do a lot of exploring, or you're just kind of very linear and go at it, there is an entrance towards the top here. This pops out. Now, if you watch the other playthroughs, there is a Druid and Geomancer stone here. A lot of people miss this sometimes, so I wanted to just really quickly touch base on that, because it is right there. I know, getting off topic. And also, if you look here, you know, there's a frozen beast in ice and solid ice. Frozen beasts in Chapter 1 don't exist besides this little frozen guy. But in Chapter 2, they're kind of out roaming around by themselves in the frozen valley. They are a little bit temperamental, and they're decently strong if you get hit by one. They're not really that fun to take on if you're low level. But here is also what I was talking about. Here is a frozen zombie. We're going to knock him out of the way. Now, this little guy, he will spawn in this little section over and over. You just kind of walk out 20 paces and come back. He should be there again. But we'll go ahead and take him on here. Now, of course, I mean, he's frozen. He's going to be weak against fire. And, hey, we're using fire. Using a lot of fire. There we go. Decent amount of experience points. We did get a sprint boost. That's always nice. They are fairly tough. They have right at about 1,000 hit points. And they have a fairly strong cold attack that if you get hit, they will stun and freeze you. Again, it's not very fun, but they are very slow and very susceptible to fire, so take that to your advantage. The easiest way, besides burning them like I just did with Ignite, is to just run from them. Stay out of range, but have them following you around, especially with a rogue. A monk is a little squishy for it. As long as he doesn't get hit, you'd be able to do it with a monk. Or if you rolled a very speedy ranger or fighter, they'd be fairly adept at doing that too and be able to take a hit. Oh, I knew that was a dead end. talking and navigating does not work sometimes. Always running into dead ends on you guys. And if you watched some of my videos before, I really don't like the icy crevice. There's not much here. It is very long getting down here into where you need for this achievement. I think if there were a couple more spawners in the area to where you had to take on a zombie or two, it'd be nice. Or maybe throw in a frozen beast there, but it is fairly desolate. And as a quick, you go outside, then you have another one. Here is the other icy crevice. And of course you see a couple more things. There is a floater frozen in ice and solid ice, which I think that wording is a little difficult, but hey. And of course, come over here, we have a rare shield, and of course we don't know what that is. And then also we see skeletal remains. But if we step a little bit closer to this little pile of sticks, it's going to give us the achievement. Obtain a snowy treasure deep within the ice. This is going to be a snowy shadow piercer. It does snow damage or frost damage. It's actually really good. If you roll an archer, a rogue, or a ranger, or even a fighter that has a 16-12 start stats, I would recommend running in here and getting it immediately, because it does excellent damage. You'll probably use this for quite a while in the game, at least for the first couple of hours that you're playing, at least through chapter 1 more than likely, before you find something that is good. No, did I throw that in my stash? I did. But that is pretty much what we were running after. Now there is another icy zombie down there that we're not going to do. Now that is the Ice Baby achievement. The dragon chest is really close. I'm going to run back out of the icy crevice. I'm going to spare you guys the boring part and run over and run outside to where you guys don't need to see that. So I'm going to go ahead and resume that once we're outside. Okay, and I am outside of the icy crevice. There's kind of where we were exploring. I'm back out here at the river. What I'm going to do is I'm going to circle around the back side of this mountain range, and we're going to go into another cavern. It's actually a mine. It's the deep mine that is going to take us to the baby dragon. And it's going to give us the opportunity to unlock the achievement, the dragon's chest. Here you go. I'm going to hop out of here so you guys can see where that is again on the full map. There you go. Literally just the back side of where the icy crevice is. Right there. And we're going to go ahead and pop in. This is another fairly expansive cave system or mine. Really, it's a mine. There's notes hidden in it. There's a whole bunch of stuff to explore. It is very deep. It is a very massive little dungeon to explore. There are enemy mobs that are deeper in the mine that you can run across and find. I'm not going to spoil all this. I want you guys to explore. I want you guys to, really get rid of the darkness on here and map out and find things for yourself. There's a couple of notes, couple of signposts from some miners in here that are fairly funny. Very ominous. But again, we're just doing the achievement playthrough. And if you guys haven't watched the other playthroughs, like going through the storyline, by all means, I would highly recommend doing that. I make a fool of myself sometimes. I die quite a bit, but it's all in good fun. Now here is our baby dragon, and then the chest that he is guarding. Now, generally baby dragons are relatively aggressive, and so, see, he's following us now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make him follow us and loop around to where we can get the chest. If you can stay a couple spaces away from him, he won't do much. And we're stuck. Looks very tough. Let's that is one thing that this playthrough team has not done too much of, and it's level things up. So bear with me while we try to pick this lock with a angry baby dragon looking at us. There we go. A little bit of magic. And there's our achievement. Now, that's the dragon's chest. Now, this is another chest that I recommend saving before opening, because you can re-roll the stuff if you find something that you don't want or just can't use. But it gives you 8 items, and all of them are kind of random. Gives you an insignia. That one's okay. It's a ranger. I can use that. Bone crusher. Got some plate boots, a mage staff, 2 mage staffs, a gore axe, unknown mace, and a claymore. Well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take all of that. Sort that out a little bit. There we go. Now we can either run away from the dragon, or we can try to fight him. I think we're going to fight him. But first, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save. Because we are far enough away from him if I needed to, and we died, we could reload and run away from him. But let's see if we can't take him. You know what? I'm not even going to change my settings. I'm going to tickle him with some fire and let our other guys get up to him. This is what would be a stupid approach. Honestly, what it's going to come down to is just running out of mana on that monk. Yeah. Okay. I'm not stopping there because it's going to take a very long time to be able to knock this dragon out at that rate. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, back out, reload for you guys. But that is the 2 achievements that is really easy to get. You can run from the dragon, like I did, kind of loop him around to where he's chasing you, but far enough away he doesn't attack, and get the chest. And the Icy Crevice, if you have a starting character that can use ranged weapons and they have a 16-12 strength and dex, by all means run and get that snowy crossbow and use it. Next video is going to be the Lich. I'm going to run through the tower. I'll probably show you guys defeating the Lich real quick, and then ransack the top of the tower with the chest, the hidden chest, and then collecting the spells. So join me next time as we continue on our achievement playthrough.